Hello, everybody. What's up, QJC, down South Yella, Omanike? Hello, hello. Oh, what is today? Friday night. It's probably, if you're on the East Coast, it's almost 9 o'clock there, but it's only 6 o'clock over here on the West Coast. But don't get me wrong, I miss being in that time zone, where I lived. Not who I lived there with, but where I lived. I absolutely loved it there. Everything about it. Oh, it was just a beautiful place to live. But anyway, how the SMD family doing? Hope everybody's doing well out there, adapting, trying to fit in there because you have to fit in. So trying to just find your place now that you can see. So, that's the next difficult part. But I don't call it difficult, but just say the next challenging part, because I am a living example of these videos. You guys have been following my journey. These are challenges. I'm kind of leading the way because there's nobody I could go to with the information that I'm sharing with the SMD family. I'm not going to say there's no, but it's very hard to find. Let's put it that way. Very hard to find because it's a language. Now, like in the title of this video, it's a language that debt slaves do not know exists, therefore do not know anything about it. They can't because they don't know that it exists. In this video, I wanted to kind of talk to the S&D family in a little deeper way so you guys can really understand that it is a language that they do not speak. Therefore, they don't understand it at all. Now, there are millions of perspectives of capitalism, millions, because every person has their own. Every single person you talk to has a different perspective of capitalism through their eyes, when there's only one, and that's the mathematical perspective, broken in two parts, positive and negative. Now, let me give you kind of like a story type example, SMD family, to understand how far this language is for them to even understand, okay? First, like I said, the capitalism is broken in two parts. So the debt matrix is on the negative side. Now, the debt matrix is a perspective of capitalism, okay? That's a perspective. That is one single perspective. Now, since the majority are in, now just how deep it goes, so you guys can see how far, not deep, but how far it is from the SMD perspective. So they are on the negative side of capitalism, which they don't know it's broken up. So that's the debt matrix is a perspective that they are in, that they don't even know they're in. Okay. Now within the debt matrix perspective, millions, which are millions of debt slaves, millions of perspective within the debt matrix perspective broken up. Okay. Now they're broken up in races and where they live and what part of the city. All of it's broken up. I want you to see how far it is. And then all the way down to the root of it, they don't even know that they're debt slaves. That's the distance between the language of SMD and the perspective of debt slaves. First, they have to know that before they can do anything to even come close to coming out of that perspective, they have to first know they are a debt slave. That's the first part. Then they got to break it up. It doesn't really matter with race or anything. It's all just mathematics. It has nothing to do with politics, nothing. Math doesn't care about any of that. All of that is irrelevant. What is the advantage of this knowing this language? Okay, so this is what you guys can kind of get. Like, since The majority do not know this perspective, SMD perspective exists. They speak a certain way about money. Now, the advantage of this language is that we can easily tell who's lying or what perspective they are in when they talk about money, especially people that lie about having money and having things and stuff like that. Those people really don't know that people like us exist, because that's the first thing people do. They try to show off their things, and their things they do not own. They finance everything. So, like, here's an example. When a person says, "Hey, I just got this car and it was $80,000, but they financed it." There's no reason to say the price of the car because they didn't buy it. But if they say the price of the car, this is the language. Listen, if they say the price of the car and financed it, you know which perspective they're talking about, because they didn't spend $80,000 on the car. They probably just put a down payment of whatever that was, and they think they bought the whole car. And then they tell you the price of the car like they paid cash for it. You automatically know that they don't know. They're part of the debt matrix, which is part of the system that it must be that way. That's how you accept it. When we hear people call themselves homeowners and then they say they got a good interest rate, automatic. Most of the stuff we don't even have to say. But as you know, not think about like think about people that do financial fraud, okay? In order for a financial person to steal money or take money, the math cannot make sense, because they're stealing, they're taking away from it. So the math, whatever the math is going to say, it's never going to make sense because they're taking. And what most people don't know, like most financial fraudsters, all you got to do is take one look at their personal credit report and it'll tell you everything about them. They don't know that. Credit reports are their papers. They show their owners, they show how they treat money. They show how they treat the business of themselves. That's why banks look at that first. They think they're just looking at credit score and see if you pay your bills back. No, if you're doing financial crimes and you owe money and all of that's going to be, well, not IRS debt, but financial crimes that you owe. You owe the state and you got to pay a penalty, and you're not paying it and all this. All of it's there. Not paying your bills. Those are papers. Dear, people like that are easy to see, but also when you understand the language, taxes are a form of income. Now, when you're inside the debt matrix, you think taxes are bad and evil and this and that. Well, you think that because you can't save money on taxes when you're in the debt matrix. They don't know that. In order to save money on taxes, you have to have money, real money. You can't have money if you owe money. So you have to have real money to save money on taxes. Taxes are a form of income. It's called phantom income because when you're in debt, you can't do it. Period. That's what math says, not me. Now, anybody listening to this, this is what I want you to do. Okay. This is what I want you to do. I'm going to say it one more time. Anybody in debt, if you're in debt, say like you have student loan debt, you can't save money on taxes. Say like you have a mortgage, you can't save money on taxes. Now, take this clip and go to any tax professional that you want. You can just go choose one. It don't matter, because when it comes to taxes, everybody has to follow the law of mathematics. Everybody does. Okay. So you go to them and say, "Hey man, this guy said he said he's speaking some type of language, and he said if I have a mortgage, I can't save money on taxes." And you say, "Oh yeah, by the way, he said make sure to tell you, mathematically speaking." Okay, make sure you have to throw in, mathematically speaking, so they know which language you're speaking. And this is the reason why you have to say mathematically speaking first, because, like I said, it's broken up in two parts. Capitalism is broken up in two parts: positive and negative. So when you go mathematically speaking, he has to go by that. He or she has to go by that. And then what number they're going to come up is a negative number. You cannot invest when you're in the negative. So say like you were going to take $5,000 to invest it in some kind of tax saving thing where they're going to take off $5,000 uh, from your taxable income. Okay. But if you open up the calculator, put in 5,000 minus your mortgage balance, the calculator will tell you that you have no money. The calculator will tell you that you don't have $5,000 to put into some tax savings, something to bring your taxable income down $5,000. Now, here is where you have to make a decision. Do you believe the calculator, who's on the positive side, because the calculator is always right, or you believe you can when the calculator's showing you can't? Now, if they say, well, this is what the professional will have to say. Well, mathematically, they always say mathematically, technically, he's correct, or whatever. Just whatever term they use, long as they use the word correct after it, that's all you need to hear. So anything outside of math is on the negative side. If you put in $5,000 minus your mortgage balance, and the calculator showing you a large negative number, but you still believe you can invest 5,000, you still believe you have $5,000 to put into some tax savings, something. You're speaking from the negative side, where you can do anything you wish over there. This is a language that any tax professional or tax business accountant, I'm just sharing with you, they have to agree with me mathematically speaking. They have to. This is not a choice. It's like saying like, hey, 1 + 1 = 2. We don't have a choice I say it's 4 or 5. Nobody has a choice. That's what it sounds like to me. So now, understanding this language, right? Understanding this language, I've had to now adjust to hearing videos and people talking about how much money and equity they have in their mortgage. Now, I don't think they're dumb. I don't think debt slaves are stupid, because I was a debt slave once too, a 6-figure college educated debt slave. Listen, a computer engineer that works with math every single day, networking. When I was a cloud networker, everything is about math. Everything. If a digit off, if a subnet mask is not right, nothing works. Everything is math, period. I even didn't see that. I didn't see that. So now when I see videos of people, selling plans on how to clean your credit report or get out of debt, I just say that I hope they're following the rules. If you're a person that is listening to this video and you help people fix their credit and all that stuff, just make sure you're doing it legitimately, okay? Just don't, as long as you're doing it legally, I don't care. It's business to me. It's all business. But I know who they're talking to. They're not talking to me. But those type of people don't know people that the SMD family, they don't know this language. This language, if you're new to the channel, I want you to understand something. The SMD is a perspective, and within this perspective, we speak a certain language. Even though it's English, you don't understand it. So say, like, here, I'll give you an example. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. Now, if you've been in your house for 10, 15 years and you had a mortgage and you heard me say what I just said, you can't buy a house with a mortgage, you don't understand what I'm saying. It only takes one day to buy a house. Now, most of you guys probably say, yeah, if you're rich and if you have money and this and that. No, it's the only way to buy a house, period. All other ways are called financing. That's all. That's all I'm saying. If you want to feel what I'm saying, just go, just open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit enter. Now, I want you guys to listen to me as you stare at that large negative number on your calculator, okay? Just listen to me. Does that number look like you own anything? Does that number look like you own something? Does that number scream homeowner? Does it scream homeowner? What kind of house can you buy with the amount of money that you see on the calculator right now? What kind of house can you buy with that amount of money? You can't. So why do you think you own a home then? That number says you are a loan owner, not a homeowner. Now this is the language barrier. Now you're probably hearing it and you're probably saying, well, he's mathematically correct. I see this large number, but something in your brain is fighting. You're within the debt matrix perspective. That's what's fighting you. His math is right, but I just don't know why I don't believe him. That's part of the debt matrix. Now you probably hear me thinking I'm exposing something. No, I can speak the way I want to speak because you guys don't understand what I'm talking about anyway. SMD family, are you listening? They don't know what I'm saying. They have not a clue of what I'm talking about. Why not? Because it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be that way. I am still in awe of this system. You hear me? Every day I am in awe. You can hear all the fakers and liars in the videos. And let me tell you something from the SMD perspective, when I look at social media, debt slaves, you guys are in trouble. The amount of money, the amount of videos being made by people in the debt matrix, you guys are in trouble. I can't be on there that long because I can see. But I also understand that this does not work with okay, first of all, capitalism does not work without human beings, okay? All you got to do is just go to the basics, okay? Capitalism does not work without humans. If humans are not here, there is no Amazon. Tesla's not flying rockets to the sky. None of that's happening. We're here so that's the same thing for capitalism, but you guys are the rocket engine. The debt matrix is a perspective that you are in voluntarily. Do you understand this? That's what makes it so easy for me to talk the way I speak. All of us learned the number line in elementary school. I have no excuse for being in debt as long as I was when I was taught the number line in elementary school math class. Yes, sir. All I had to do was take the number line, apply it to my finances, and I would have been a multi-millionaire years ago. Not only from my own income, but from the phantom income, which is taxes, which are taxes. years ago. What do you mean taxes? When you hear me say taxes, taxes help build wealth, and you're confused, which I'm sure a lot of you are, whether you say it or not, you're confused. You know why you're confused? Because it's phantom to you. That's why you're confused. If you don't understand what I'm saying, which if you're in debt, you can't. You understand? If you've been in debt all your life and you hear me say taxes can help build wealth, and you try to think about it, you can't. It's not taught in schools. It's nowhere. You can't. Math says you can't understand what I'm talking about. That's what the laws of mathematics say that. SMD family. So when you hear me speak, like the way I'm speaking, remember, they don't understand a word I'm saying. That's why I can speak like this. First, you have to know you're a debt slave. That's first. You guys understand that? That's first. And SMD family, you guys know, when I say that, you guys already know because you did it. Once you accept you're a debt slave, you're proud to say you're a debt slave. But first, you have to know you are. That's the hardest part. I remember, wait, hold on. Let me take a drink of water real quick. I remember when I first started getting out of debt and I had a job. I worked one more year. Well, when I was debt free, I worked one more year. Everything changed. Everything changed. The people, me being locked in a building all day. I learned to max out my 401k. I didn't know how rare that is, and I was doing it because I knew it was saving me money on taxes. So I was maxing it out because I had never done that before in my life, making six figures for years. And then one day, God told me it's time to go. I said, go. What am I going to do, man? I did all this studying for this school, and I finally made it to six figures, and all this other stuff that was making me panic. What about this and that? God said, you just got to trust me. What about this and that? You have no debt, so you can do what I'm telling you to do because you have no debt. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I can because I'm not in debt. Because you gotta understand, SMB family, everything you see a price tag on out in the world when you go about your day, those prices apply to cash buyers only. It doesn't matter if it's on sale or off sale. Whatever that price is only applies to cash buyers. Everybody else, debt slaves who finance it, it's going to be the price plus taxes, and then they're going to finance the sale price and the taxes at the percentage rate of their credit cards. So it's not the same price for us. When you see the price of cars, okay, now follow me closely, SMD family. When you see the price of cars, you know debt slaves can't pay for those cars. You know that. They are that price because they know they can never buy them in cash, or else they wouldn't be that price. That's why they can charge those prices for cars that they make millions of, you guys, millions. You think a price of a car, we wouldn't be, hey, listen, we would be highly upset if we could actually see the cost of them, the cost of which they make one car. No different than an iPhone. No $1,500, $1,600 for an iPhone. They make millions of them. How much do you think an iPhone costs for them? You'd probably be very upset, and you guys are financing them. That's why the phones cost what they cost, because they know debt slaves can't buy them. So when we go out and purchase stuff, SMD family, we always are saving money because we're not financing it. Once we buy something, the deal is done. You understand? So now we walk through this world first. Like now, I've learned to hum it down, the chitter chatter of debt slaves. I've learned to tune it out like white noise because I know it's part of it. I love seeing liars about money, hearing them about it, talking about what they can do and how they're going to make people rich. They don't know that people like me exist. I'm not going to say anything. Hey, listen, excuse me. If what you're doing is legal, that ain't none of my business. No different. Listen, Dave Ramsey helped me get out of debt. No different than Dave Ramsey says, hey, pay off everything and get all the way down to your mortgage and then start investing in this and that. You can't do any of that. That's called business. You can't invest while having a mortgage. You can't do that according to mathematics. But if he's saying you can, that's called business. Do you guys understand that? That's business. Is what he's doing legal? Yes. You will have to, if you open a business, SMD family, when you open a business, because you know that's the next step, because you can't stand being at a job anymore. Listen to all the debt slaves talk about the water cooler and the Mondays and all this other stuff. I know it's driving you crazy. I forgot where I was going with that. Crap. Let me see who's up in here. Sup, cupcakes? Hello, hello. I know a 60-year-old couple think they own a house and they had to refinance. And that's another thing, when we hear them talk about refinancing, I want you guys to pay attention to how casually they talk about refinancing the house and putting on a new deck on the house. They don't know what they're saying. They don't know that they're talking like that. 2 mortgages. Oh, I took out a second mortgage. 2 mortgages on one house. That tells, if you hear, when you hear them talk about 2 mortgages on one house, that means they don't understand what the first one was for. That means no money. What they're doing is paying to fix up the bank's house. Now, think about it. If you were the bank, wouldn't you love that? That's cool. That's just business. If a person believes, which the people in the debt matrix do, they believe that. That's part of the system. You can't be successful. Oh, that's where I was going. You can't be successful without learning how to be part of the system. Example, i.e. Dave Ramsey. Telling people to invest after they get down, pay off all the debt except their mortgage, and you can do this and that. You can't. If you listen to him closely, he don't own debt personally or his business. He makes that clear. I want you guys to understand the magnification of that. To be debt-free in your business and personal, that's like you guys unbelievable amounts of phantom income. You're probably thinking, oh, well, he's up in a high tax bracket. He's paying a lot of taxes. Yeah, but he's getting a lot of tax breaks because he has money to do it. Tax brackets, this is my view of tax brackets, okay? This is because I never understood it when I was in debt, nor did I pay attention to them. But to me, tax brackets make sure people keep playing, make sure the money is circulating. Nobody's trying to hoard it. Nobody's trying to stash, just make it all, and just stash it and never circulate it back. It forces you to keep playing. I get it, totally get it. Which say I've been a secretary all my life and I have owned but just one car. The rest of the time I just did public transportation, and yet debt slaves in my family say I got to be real poor not to own a car. And I want you to cupcakes. That's a language that they don't know that they're speaking. What they're doing is really talking about themselves. Never take what debt slaves say personally. That's what I've learned. If they're in debt, and this is just the way I look at it, if they're in debt, I don't care what they say about me. If they called me ugly, that's why you don't got a girlfriend. And what debt slaves think of me is irrelevant to me. It doesn't even matter what that debt slave looks like. It doesn't matter to me. So when they say, "Oh, you must be poor," and this and that, and that's just their vision, their perspective inside the perspective of the debt matrix. Most people in the debt matrix, especially when it comes to money, they're really telling you their fears if you listen closely. It's their fears, but they project it on other people. This year, I'm going to try buy a decent little used car, not too old, but not too new. You can do it. You can do it because when you have cash, all you got to do is you can get a great deal. There's probably a whole bunch of people looking to get out of a car, or they're probably pretty close and they want to save their credit, and they'll take probably anything for it just to get out of it. If they, say like they've been paying on a car and all of a sudden they lost their job, but they're close to paying it off. They will sell it for the price of that loan, because if not, it's going to ruin their credit because they're not going to be able to make the payments, blah, 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 blah. Exactly. Omanika already said, ignore them. Don't even pay attention to them. I've been debt free for 10 years and I feel great, but I don't have a lot of money, but I don't owe a lot of money. When you're in debt, you got to remember this, cupcakes. You could have $5 in the bank, $5, and you're financially ahead of millions of people, mathematically speaking. So when you start to feel like that, oh, but I don't have a lot of money, the reason why you're saying that is because you have real money. Debt slaves have no money. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter what they drive. It most definitely doesn't matter what they say. You got to just, and this is the thing you got to have to wrap your head around, especially when it comes to family. The debt matrix don't care if it's your family, your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister. The debt matrix doesn't care who it is. You have to make it clear to these people, to these family members, you're either going to remove them or you're going to tell them directly, hey, don't talk to me about that. You have to be direct because they don't understand. Once you tell them, if they continue to do it, then you must remove them. You have to remove them because they're going to keep you tied to the debt matrix and keep you slowed down, and use your energy thinking about why they keep calling me poor. All of that's energy. If they talk like that to you and then you leave and you start, you go on your way and you're still thinking about it in your brain, it takes energy to think. So they pass their fears to you, put them in your brain. Now you walk off. Now the fear transfer has been made. Now you're thinking about it, blah, blah, blah. That's how it's transferred. You got to cut that off. Do not accept any fears from debt slaves. You got to remove them. What's up, Wayman? I see you down there. What's up, QJC? If you want to know how much house you can afford, just open up your bank app on your phone, and according to your bank balance, that's how much you can afford. Exactly. When I look at the debt to income ratio now, I remember when I was financing a house when I was in my 30s, right? Thinking I'm about to buy, and they have this debt to income ratio The bank's telling me how much. Listen, the bank has a formula to tell me how much house I could afford. You hear me? When I could just look in my bank account, if the house is 400,000, right? And I open up my bank account and I got 10,000 in there, that means I can't afford a $400,000 house. I'm 390,000 short. You understand? But they got a special formula, debt to income ratio, to tell you how much house you can afford. That's absolutely brilliant. Whose fault is that? That's my fault. If the bank told me that they had a debt to income special formula to tell me how much house I can afford or not, that's my fault. I don't need them to tell me how much house. Listen, if my bank account's with them, right, already, and I'm trying to get a loan with the same bank, they already know I have no money. Do you understand? They already know that. I'm the only one that didn't know that. Hey, get some money from your mom, put in your bank account so it could show that you had $3,000. You think the bank don't know? You just here you are on a normal. Listen. You guys have a pattern that you don't know you have, especially you young people that are about to do this when they tell you to put some money in the account so it can show you can make the payments or whatever. If you've been having, say, like you've been living paycheck to paycheck and you've been having about $100 in your account left before the next paycheck, and then you say you're going to buy a house, and then all of a sudden one day just before the house you get about $5,000 put in there, borrowed from whoever, so you're going to give it back to them. You don't think the bank can see that? That's a pattern. You don't have that. You don't carry that kind of money. They already know that you're not going to have the house very long because you don't know right now. First of all, you can't buy a house with a mortgage. That's number one. That's strike number one. Oh, I'm gonna be a homeowner. Let me just go ask the bank. That's strike one. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. But if they knew that, SMD family, if they knew that, the housing market would crash. We can't have that. If they woke up and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't own shit. No, we're out of here. Boom. That's bad for everybody. Just like if you're an SMD family member and you're a realtor, you definitely don't want that to happen. You encourage, you figure out a good way to get a mortgages. Don't put your feelings in it. Hey, you might have to tell some of your clients that you have a mortgage too, so they won't start questioning you. Wait a minute, why are you trying to give me one and you don't have one? Or just make up a story. Hey, man, it took me 30 years to pay it off, but it's paid off. Then they'll shut up about it. I know debt slaves that got iPhones and on public. Yep, and they got the iPhone 17s Pro Maxes. I know you are. I bet you are, Monica. That's like a natural part of the process. That's like an automatic. Your brain can't even help doing it. Congratulations to you. Those are you talking about me. That was my past. Two mortgages. Hey, hey, listen, Monica, I wasn't just talking about you. You know that now. Now that you're out, you're like, millions of people got two mortgages on one house. Millions. They think that shit is normal. The debt matrix don't care. Like I said, if you got a family member, close friend, and they're in the debt matrix, and you got feelings tied to that person in the debt matrix, they're keeping you tied. By you staying connected to them, they're keeping you tied to the debt matrix. You might not think so, but it is. But they are, excuse me, they are. I have nobody in my life that takes away any of my energy. And you know what's so crazy? Let me give you an example. I remember like when I would be around my sister. Now we never had a fight in our lives, but when I would be around her, I would get drained. This feeling of just I start getting tired and lethargic and I just being around her. But I already knew what type of person she was though. But she was never like that to me. Her and I had never had a fight in our lives. But I know she was a user and she would cheat on her boyfriend and do all this other stuff. But we never had any problems. So I said to myself, okay, whatever, she's not doing it to me until it happened to me. I mixed money into it for the first time because we had never done that. Once I mixed money in it, everything, it happened to me. Everything I saw she was doing to other people, she did that to me. Once I removed her, that lethargic feeling of I just had to accept it because they're my family and this and that. No, you don't. She is removed forever. Do you understand? The feeling of no longer feeling that's that energy. So if you're feeling that around a person and they make you tired, you don't understand what it is. But if you just stop for a minute and look how this person lives their life, watch how they treat other people. You're getting tired around them. You better get away from that person because it's going to happen to you. You're not special. You think because you're family and you think because this is your sibling, they're gonna no. You better separate yourself because it's going to happen to you. It happened to me in my 50s. We never had a problem our whole entire life. Never raised our voice. No argument. Shared money. Just back and forth because we had separate jobs. But when I joined it together to create a business, that was a problem. I saw the real side. She tried to destroy me. You understand? First, I had to get over the shock. But once I removed her, my energy was restored. I was like, that's why I was feeling like that all the time. Yep. So now when I have that feeling happen to me, I don't care where I'm at. If I feel it, there's a reason why I feel it. I pay attention to it now. I don't care who it is, family, friends, whatever. I don't even have those kind of people in my life. When the Ramsey team takes calls on their show from Debt Slave, they always speak on gross income, on how to pay off the debt instead of the net. Well, because they can't, because debt slaves, and you guys understand, SMD family, debt slaves are in debt. You understand? So they can't go by net because they have no net. Debt slaves have no net. So they go by gross because that's just what they make. Boom, that's what it is. But they don't know that. That's why, listen, this is when they go, this is how far they put debt slaves under. Now, follow me. When they go finance a car, their car payments are based on their gross income, already starting them upside down, already just based on that, already upside down. Based on gross money that they're not even going to get because taxes got to come out of that money first. And all the other stuff that got to come with it. They have to go by gross because there's nothing else that exists. The money that they make exists because they had to earn it. But the net, they don't have nothing because it's already claimed for by the bank, all the payments. Listen to me closely, SMD family. When a debt slave finance a house, it's because they don't have the money yet. They have to earn it. When they finance a house for 30 years, the money's already, that means the money that they haven't even made yet is already promised to the bank. You understand? It's already promised. So they can't go by a debt slave's net income because it's already promised to people, to banks. So if they go by gross, which is money that they actually make, which actually means nothing, that's how deep it is. That's the game. Not the game. That's how capitalism works. Capitalism does not work without humans. You guys understand that? People. So in the first half of humans, slavery was the moneymaker, slaves. That can't stop. Do you guys understand that? It can't stop. So it just switched from physical slavery to psychological slavery. What are companies? If debt slaves weren't there, what companies making stuff for? They wouldn't be making anything because debt slaves are not there to finance it. Put it like this: what if Apple said, "You know what? We're not allowing anybody to finance our phones anymore. The only way you can buy an iPhone is in cash." Guess what would happen to Apple? They would go out of business. So they have to be there. Isn't it beautiful? When I discovered that taxes are a form of income, I can't explain the feeling that I got that from that. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Yep, it's dead serious. I remember when I maxed out my 401k at my job, right? I remember when I was leaving my last day, the head honcho at the building called me into his office. Now, I rarely spoke to this man. I rarely spoke to him high or by in the office because I never was a person to kiss ass, or I don't care if you're high up in the company. I'm just coming there to do a good job. I'm not there to kiss no ass. But he called me in his office, and for some reason, and he was in the middle of a board meeting, and all these people were sitting on this big ass table. There were about 4 or 5 seats on the side of the table. He was at the head of the table, right? And he put me up in his place at the head of the table, and he went down to the foot of the table. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I up here? I don't even know why I'm here. And the people around the side of the table, they had the same look on their face. Why is this guy up here? And he was like, hey, Mr. Young, I heard you're moving on and you're going to do bigger things. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I was still confused. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he saw that I fully funded my 401k. Maybe he got a bonus or something from it, because there are very few people that have ever done that, especially six-figure earners. You don't believe me? Go ask a six-figure earner and say, hey, have you ever fully funded your 401k? They're going to tell you no. I don't know what it is, 20,000, 21,000. I don't know what this year is. It's probably around 20 something thousand, right? And you can go more than that. But let's just stick with the basics. 20,000, go ask anybody. They don't. So the more they make, the higher up they go in their tax bracket. And since they're in debt, they can't do anything about it to reduce themselves in the tax bracket because it takes money. You can't do it. You're probably saying, hey, it looks like that on paper and this and that. Well, I know what it looks like on paper. I'm just speaking mathematically. You can't do it. I understand what it looks like on paper. That's part of the system. I get it. Totally get it. And when you understand how it works, you don't cheat on your taxes. There's no way I would ever cheat on my taxes. Besides, it's against the law. But if I cheat on my taxes, guess what I'm cheating on? Myself. I'll be cheating on myself. Cheating would say I don't know how to play. That's what that would say. I know how to play. I'm not cheating. Yeah, I know you weren't singing. Oh, singing me out. Oh, singling me out. No, of course not. Excellent business strategy from it. Sure is excellent. He's part of. He's got that Ch- Churchill mortgage for manual underwriting for mortgages. Mortgage is debt. Nothing special. There's no special mortgage. There might be a different way to get it and a special way, but a mortgage is a mortgage. You guys understand? And he's getting paid. I get it, totally get it. He's tied to like credit unions and stuff like that. Hey, whatever. If it wasn't for Mr. Ramsey, he accelerated my exit of the debt matrix. He accelerated it. He just said math. I said, okay, I can deal with that. What's up, Shasha? Is it Shasha? My ex drained me. I remember taking her on dates weekly. Yep, exact. Hey, listen, when you exit that perspective of capitalism, you won't be doing any of that anymore. I've been single for quite a while, and it'd probably be like that for a while because I wouldn't date a debt slave. Now I'm in my 50s. I'm 56 now. This age is very different. It's very different than 30s and 40s. It's very different, especially understanding the SMD language is very different now. It doesn't matter what she looks like or what she drives or her career. None of that. If you're in debt, I'm not even paying attention to her. We're not going to do anything. We're not going on any dates. We're not even talking on the phone. What we're going to talk about? Nothing. You won't even allow, I wouldn't even allow a woman to drain me of my energy that took so long for me to build. It took me a lot of hard work and energy draining to reach you guys, talking to you guys right now. And the SMD family know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go watch some of my old videos. When I lived in South Carolina, I was in pure hell. The place was beautiful, just the person I was with. That taught me what I know today. I wouldn't let anybody drain my energy today. Nobody's allowed to do that. When a person shows me who they are, I believe them. Not very difficult for me. My ex drained me. I remember. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember taking out dates and aggressive paying on dates weekly, despite aggressively paying my student loans down till AM in the final stretch. Okay. Oh, okay. Still, I'm in the final stretch, and when I slowed down because I think he meant to say so. When I slowed down because I felt so drained. That's real. We put that to the side, like I did. You're probably doing it the same way I did. Put it to the side because of feelings, and it's crazy. This is how I look at it. Okay, and you got stay with me here. If I feel it, it's real, or else I wouldn't be feeling it. When I'm around, like I have a good friend and his wife, we are close. We got the same energies. I don't feel drained. I don't feel anything negative because we're not like that. So now, if I feel it from somebody, it's real. I may not know exactly what it is, and it depends on if it's just an acquaintance or it's just a person passing by. If I'm never going to see this person again, I don't really care. But if it's somebody in my circle, which I don't even have people like that in my circle, they're either kept at a distance or they're removed. Because if you don't, it'll keep you trapped in their perspective. Like here, let me give you an example. This is what I know today, okay? I have never been jealous of anybody in my life naturally. I've never been jealous of anybody. I didn't care if they were football stars, actors, rappers, people that had more money than me, maybe dressed better than me. I was never jealous of them. I just be like, okay, I'll figure out how to do that or get that or whatever I needed to do it. But I wasn't jealous of them about it. What that means is this. That means is that I've never given off jealous energy because I'm not jealous of anybody. But jealous people have been jealous all of their lives. So they give off jealous energy without even knowing they're giving off jealous energy because that's how they live all of their lives. They think being jealous is normal. So they naturally give off the energy. So if I don't give it off, that means I receive it. Now, throughout my life, I always felt like through the friends I might have had, maybe some family members somewhere, I would feel some jealousy. I would feel it. But I would always be like, oh, I must be tripping. Why would they be jealous of me? Because I'm not trying to make anybody jealous. I'm just being me. not knowing that me just being me, that there are people out there that are jealous of me. That makes no sense to me, but now I'm aware of it. Okay, I don't walk around thinking, well, since I'm not jealous of anybody, they shouldn't be jealous of me. No, I don't think like that anymore. I do not think like that. When I feel it, if I feel it from somebody, say like it's in the circle, or some family, close friend, and if I feel jealous energy, I might not know exactly why, but I would keep an eye on them if I was back in the day, because I wouldn't even keep anybody around me like that. But when I think back when it was happening to me, just growing up in my 20s and 30s. Hello? Okay, I don't know what just happened. My mic, it does that sometimes. Hold on, let me check my audio. Okay. Throughout my life, I would just feel somebody jealous of me, and I wouldn't understand why, because I didn't do it. But now what it is, and then years later, I found out this person might have did this or said that or lied about this. And when I think back, I was like, that's why I was feeling like that about that person. Exactly. It's a gift. We just ignore it. He said she had a problem with that, and that's when I knew the writing on the was on the wall, and this wasn't a long term. Yep, I told you. They can tell. They can tell because you're not asking right questions. You're asking different questions. Which say Monique? Oh, talking to her. Okay, you guys talking to each other. 24,500, I believe, for 401k plus 4,000. What's up, Owen? Oh, for the HSA. Okay, it's up to 24,000. If you're a six figure, especially a computer engineer, if you guys are making six figures, just go around to your colleagues and say, hey, man, have you ever maxed out your 401k? The first response is going to say, oh, yeah, I get the match. You're going to say, no, I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about the full 24,500. Because when you ask them, did you max out your 401k? They're going to think you're talking about, did you max out what it takes to get the match? Because you won't go, so you don't be leaving money on the table or whatever they use for you, get you guys to contribute. That's what they use, right? Because none of it makes any mathematical sense. But then you got to say, no, the whole 24,500, did you max that out? They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Debt slaves. I appreciate it. What I'm spitting is life-changing information, and I'm not even bragging. Nobody speaks this. Let me tell you guys an incident what happened one time, just recently, right? So a few of the SMD family members reached out to me and said, hey, this guy is talking like you, LJ. It sounds like he's using your content, but he's not mentioning your name at all. So I go over there, check it out. And sure enough, he's using my words, the way I say it. I mean, I don't own mathematics. I want you guys to understand, but I have a style, which is my style. But they were like, yeah, he's saying exactly the same. And I went over there. I was like, damn, he sure is. He's saying exactly what I'm saying. But I was like, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. So I emailed him. I said, hey, man, you sound like we're on the same page, man. We should collab and do some things. He didn't even respond to me. So I said, okay, cool. I'll just go and email him from his website. So I went to his website and did the same thing. Did I get a response? Nope. Didn't get a response. And then the SMD family members were like, that's because he's using your content and he don't want you to know. Because this language is not spoken by anybody. You guys understand that? Not anybody. 99% of the people do not know this language exists. So the SMD family member go through my videos and find this person doing a collab with me on the live. They were like, this is him. I was like, damn, okay. I was like, what? But this is how fast, when somebody tries to take the language and use it as their own, SMD family members already know. Nobody speaks this language. So when they hear it, they automatically know. And they came to me. So when I see a person show me who they are the first time, I believe them. I believe them. It keeps your feelings out of it. You don't you don't get upset about it. You just go, oh, you're that type of person. Okay, see ya. That's it. Nothing more than that. You remove them. You guys will get to this level once you understand how valuable your energy is, even with thinking. Even with thinking in your brain, it takes energy. You can't do nothing without energy, using energy. So when you're around debt slaves or people with negative energy and they pass their fears into your brain, and then you hop in your car driving all the way home in that long drive and you're thinking about the shit they said, that takes energy. You're just on remote control. I know a whole bunch of you guys have done it because I used to do it. You be driving, you be thinking about it so hard, your body's literally on remote control and it's driving the car. You're not even there until you pull up into your driveway. And then it's like you come back into your brain caused by that's how much energy you use. You put your body in automatic mode. It's stopping at lights, it's staying the speed limit, it's using the turn signals, and you're not even there. That's powerful energy. All of us have done it. And then we pull up, we're like, how did I get here? How did you get here? So social media insurance, how you doing? I've got to email you for the project you're working on. Okay, cool. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. I think I'm closer to that answer too. I'll share it with you. Thank you, Fresh. Most do look at you like you're crazy, but you have to ignore them. I've learned, SMD family, I've learned to integrate. First of all, I removed all the, I don't have a regular job. I don't have those type of people in my life. A lot of it's removed. I have control over social media, just turned it off. I don't have a job to where I'm around them all day. Then they want to hang out after work and talk about work after work. No, talk about the problems. You know, they be making jokes about house or work husband and work wife and all this. The reason why they're jokes because it's real. If you're spending more time at work, 50 plus hours, that's going to happen. And then the people at work who are cheating on their spouses, they get together, think they understand each other better, but they only understand each other because they're at work all the time. They think they have a different type of connection. Their connection is work and debt. That's their connection. If you're working 50 plus hours a week at work and you're having an affair on your partner, that's why you're having an affair, because you're at work more than home. Then once that job ends, that affair ends. It's over. You're never going to talk to that person again. Don't believe me? Think about how many times you left a job. You had a whole bunch of people you knew at your job, and once you left, you probably don't talk to nobody anymore. That's how it is. You're only there because you're in debt. That is your connection. The job just joins you together. Then you guys compete with each other. Hey, I got a house. Come out to the parking lot. Look at my new car. And then you guys go out to the parking lot with your new car and all this other stuff while the employer is sitting at the top of the office saying, damn, I know this person's here. That's a $70,000, $80,000 car. That's a brand new Tesla. Yeah, that's a minimum of 7 years. 7-year car loan. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Making videos of driving to work with no hands. Just program your car to work at home. That's all you're going to need it for. Who cares if who cares if the car drives you to work with no hands? Who are you talking to? Other debt slaves. So when I see videos like that, I don't care if they're look what Grok says, and the car is coming to me. Whatever, debt slave. Hey, listen, whatever. Oh, you still driving that old truck? Will you stop talking to me? I just be like, can you just stop talking to me? Just stop talking to me. If you're making car payments, I don't care. Like if you're listening to this video and you think, oh, he's old and he doesn't. If you're making car payments, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care if you think I'm old or I think old and things are not that way. If you're making car payments, so what? I don't care. Oh, I drive a Benz and this and that. You making payments? Yeah, I don't care. Why are you talking to me? This is what I think. I, it's like the Matrix movie. You know how when Neo and Morpheus is talking in downtown and all the people are going to the sides and moving real fast. Those are the death slaves to me. Unless I stop and talk to them and say, "Hey, uh, do you work on cars? Do you have a shop?" Or unless I need them, then I stop them and talk to them. And then when I'm done, I just let them go doing whatever they're doing. They don't know that they're doing that. The movie The Matrix 1990, that's real, people. That's real. Like Mr. Smith, narcissists. This is what I've learned since I've been free. Narcissists can be anybody. They can be kids. They can be your mama, daddy, sister, brother, friends. Those people are evil, and they can go to be anybody. Just like Mr. Smith or Agent Smith. You notice how he can be anybody? Narcissists can be anybody. I didn't know narcissists existed until I met one from 2017 to 2023. I didn't know they existed until I met her. Now I realize it's not just her. There's millions of them. It's just like that. It's just like with the debt with speaking the language of SMD. I can hear a debt slave speaking. SMD family know what I'm talking about. You can hear a debt slave speaking. Now they don't know that they're talking like that because they believe that's the only perspective that exists. So they talk like that. They don't know they talk like that. Now, for me, that's the same thing with a narcissist. Narcissists speak a certain way, they talk a certain way. They don't know they talk that way because they've been narcissists all their life. So they think it's normal. Now I can hear it. I can hear what they say. They're usually horrible with money. It all ties together. A narcissist knows I can see them. If the way I'll look at them, the way I'll speak to them, they will know that I can see them. So it wouldn't matter if they had money or looked a certain way, if it was a beautiful woman and she had a bang it. None of that matters. None of it. Now, when men hear me talk like this, they probably think, "Oh yeah, again, he's old or something." No, listen. This is what I can see because I'm no longer addicted to lust. I'm just not. Okay, and this is what I can see from no longer being addicted to lust. Women, I want the men to listen to me closely, okay? Because nobody's ever told you, because nobody ever told me this. Women have been getting looked at by men since they were young girls, from men of all ages, okay? So when you get to the age of you're just going through life and we're giving the women a look or something, and we're trying. They have seen thousands of looks before your look. So if you think you're doing something different, you're probably not. She's probably just debating if she's going to like you or not or something or whatever. But you're not. I'm no different than any. I'm not special. I'm only special to me. So it's an energy that most women get just when they go outside or they got to prepare. Okay, I got to put this on. Okay, I can't have this out because I'm going to get it. They actually get prepared because of how men are all the time. I don't give that energy because I'm not in it anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not blind. I'm not saying I'm blind, but I don't lust like that, because you know why? I don't know if that's a debt slave or not. I have no idea if this woman that looks like this, she might be sexy, driving a nice car, she's a lawyer. I don't know if she's a debt slave or not. So I'm not going to give that lustful look, because we're not even going to listen. We're not even going to get close to anything like that, sexual or anything. We're not getting past if you're a debt slave. We're not getting past that. We're not getting. You think we're coming close to sex? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let me explain for men. I hope you're listening. Listen to me close to the words I'm about to say. I am fully aware that there is a disease out there. If I get out there unprotected, there's a disease out there that can take me away from Earth. I am fully aware of that now. I have no idea why I wasn't aware of it before, but I am now. So when it comes to, you know, back in the day, I'd be like, oh man, look at that hair. You can't pass that. Yes, I can. If she's a debt slave, why are you going to do that? I don't want to. And I'm like this, I don't want to even let the woman think that's a possibility of a relationship. Sex just confuses things. You don't even want that to happen. Hey, listen, I don't want to steer you wrong because you're in debt. I don't really understand that. Well, I'm 56. I don't really got time to explain it, but you'll figure it out. Is this Ramil? Ramil, what's up? If this is Ramil, I haven't seen him in a long time. What's up, Soon to Rise? Circadian Rhythm. You used to make everybody mad when you came on. If you think I made them mad then, shit, I probably really get them mad now. When I think about, listen, when I think about what I knew back on your streams compared to what I know now, it's like night and day. I consider myself, I wasn't even ready back then. I still wasn't. I was nowhere near where I am today. Let's put it that way. It's nice to see you though. A batty debt slave can get it. See, that's you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Why? I couldn't even entertain it. I probably listen. I know people think I'm joking. I probably wouldn't get aroused, because I would know. I'm like, okay, I'm about to have sex with a debt slave. What if this doesn't, if it's, oh no, too much thinking. Nope. Let me know, man, whenever. Let me turn this AC on. Hold on. I am getting hot. I'm looking forward to it. Glad to see you here. Let me put up this thing up here. I can go on yapping for hours. When I think about, again, Ramil, when I think about back then, I was just beginning with my knowledge, with the knowledge I have versus today. I was just beginning. I'm glad I didn't blow up back then. And back then they used to get mad. I didn't really care, but I cared more than I care now. LJ, you're strong. Most men don't care what's in a woman's pockets. It's about the outward. Outward, does she have a beautiful face and big? Exactly. Cupcakes. That's what we're, as men. That's what we're programmed to do. That's just how it is. It's just in your brain. Now that I understand, first of all, I don't give that energy off. When I'm walking past a woman and she's, she might look good or whatever, and it counts on how she's dressed. Maybe she dressed that way because she wants attention. It could be either way, but I just don't give that look. I don't give that energy. And they can feel it too. They can feel it. They can feel it. When I really, really realized women have been getting looked at for a very long time by all ages of men, no matter what age they are. They've been getting looked at. That my look is no special when it's time. In my mind, I'm thinking it's special, but my look is no special, no different. It's just I'm sure it's something that women have seen many times, but it's just a different face. I'm thinking I'm doing it smoother or something. I'm saying something different or better or whatever. I don't even know where the woman's mind is at. Who knows where she's at? Because when it comes to sex, I don't know, and this is how I look at it today. I don't know where she's at with it. I don't know how, and this is important to me, how a person's sex life began. That's very important to understand. People don't really say like this. This is what I would do. If I would meet a woman I'm talking, I'd be like, hey, how's your relationship with your parents? If she comes out, oh, fuck my mama, fuck my dad, I'd be like, instantly, nope, because that's some unresolved stuff that she needs to take care of. I don't feel that way. Like, I love my mother. And if I hear a person say, talk that way about their parent, obviously they have a different version of love than me. That's a different version. No, thank you. Even if they were bad, it should be resolved. Even if the parent was horrible, there's some things to have resolved. You have within yourself, not with them, within yourself. So if they're still angry about it, especially at my age, no, thank you. But again, we wouldn't get that far. Debt usually is going to stop them because the majority of people are in debt. If she come up, hey, yeah, I went to this college and this and that, and then I'll be like, you still got your student loan debt? She says, yes. I'm like, damn, we're 10 years out. How long did you go to college? 4 years. And you've been paying on them for 10? No, thank you. No. You got a house? Yeah, that means your student loan debt is older than your mortgage. No. Oh, who you think you are, LJ? You think you're this and that? Whatever. Hey, no, you think I'm that because you're saying that. I don't think, like when somebody says, oh, LJ, you think you're this and that? I look at them, I'm like, no, you think that way because I don't think about myself like that. I'm me. People outside of me, they don't affect me. If, like I said earlier, if a woman says, oh, LJ, you're old, you're ugly, or you're not handsome, why are you talking to me? That's what I would say. Why are you talking to me? Can you just leave me alone? Yeah, just leave me alone. There are millions of men in the United States of America. Why are you talking to me? They would probably get even more angry. I'm like, TikTok. Listen, now that I'm free, I'm debt free. Time. I know my time here is limited. Do you understand? I know a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about, but I want you to listen to my words. Now that I'm free, I know my time here is limited. Those are graveyards over there. There's a whole bunch of graveyards. Those people were here before me. I don't know what they did with their time, but I'm going to do something with mine. My time here is limited. When I think about how many arguments I had with the ex, and we would be arguing for, an hour and then not talk to each other for weeks, that's time. Go through, walking through the house, not talking to each other and this and that. TikTok. TikTok. 2020 is now 6 years ago. TikTok. You look nice, LJ. Men half your age that are not in good shape financially or physically. I believe it. And like I said, Cupcake, I've never been a person that's self-conscious, or if somebody talks about me and or something, or they think I'm supposed to have something or be somewhere at this age. If you're making car payments and you listen to me, I don't care what you have. Do you understand? If you're calling yourself a homeowner and talking about how much equity you have in your house, you don't talk to me. Hey, in order to be wealthy, you got to have real estate. Are you financing the real estate or are you buying it? Who uses their own money and this and that? You don't have any money, so you have no choice but to use other people's money, which is the banks. When you hear people talking about, hey, you don't use your own money, you use other people's money. Those people have no money. That's why they're telling you that. They want you to be like them. That's right. We don't know how much time we have on Earth. We don't. My body is my spacesuit, and Earth is the space. This is where I'm at. I want you guys, I hope you don't think I'm crazy, okay, or think it in your brain. This is my spacesuit. I used to go out there when I was young and have unprotected sex could possibly damage my spacesuit with a disease. Do you understand? That I couldn't get rid of. I cannot walk around Earth without this spacesuit. Do you guys understand? This spacesuit has a time limit. There's graveyards around us to prove it, that this spacesuit is a time limit. So I'm out there gambling with my spacesuit? Absolutely not. I don't do none of that no more. None of that. None of that. No, sir. Don't do any of that. This is my time slot here on Earth. This is my time slot to do what I'm supposed to do. And let me give you an example. Say this is going to help you guys feel like you're on the Star Trek Enterprise. Okay, so when I was younger, say like I'm about to have sex with a woman that I hardly even know, unprotected. In my mind, there was always a little voice that was saying, "Hey, man, you don't know this girl. You don't know this woman. You shouldn't be doing that. You can get her pregnant. Then what are you going to do? You can get a disease. What are you going to do?" There's this little voice. You know who that little voice is or was? That was me today, the higher version of myself. That was me. Because when I look at myself at that moment, that's exactly what I sound like today. What are you doing? You don't even know her. You don't know what she's doing. What are you doing? What if you get her pregnant? Then what? All this stuff. That's me. That was me. But that voice back then, when I was in my 20s, was a little tiny voice. It was just in the back of my brain, back of my mind. It was so tiny. It was me, the future me, talking to myself when I was younger. Because when I think about myself, because only I can do it, think about myself and my mindset, I can clearly see my mindset was nothing like my mindset is today. So that was that was my voice, the higher version of myself. No different than, here, follow me this one. Follow me. Say like you were in a relationship, okay? Now it's been over for years. You guys broke up because your partner was fooling around, and it happened to be fooling around with one of your family members or your friends, right? Now, if you take yourself back, because only you can go back to that moment, because right now, if it's years over, you have no more feelings, so you can think about it more clear. So take yourself back into your mind back then and think about the times you were like, those guys are looking at each other funny. I noticed they're hanging around a lot. They're always giggling at each other's jokes. Maybe there's something going on. That's you today, because if you think back now, it seems pretty obvious, right? Because that was the higher version of you, but your voice was small. Think about that. Think about this. Think about the voice that was talking to you that was really, really low. Who does that voice sound like? You today. If you take yourself back and think about the times you notice, oh man, it's so obvious they did this, and this is why they was talking to them, and they end up, it was them. If you listen to the voice now, if you go back as yourself now and listen to that voice, it sounds like you today. That was you talking to yourself, the higher version of yourself. Everybody has that small voice. Everybody has it, whether you want to admit it or not. When you get ready to go do something that you're not supposed to do, there's always a little voice saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. That's a higher version of yourself saying that. And people always say this on videos. Oh man, I knew I shouldn't do it. Something told me. That was you. You told you. Don't believe me? Go find a video on somebody getting arrested. Listen to most of them. Man, I knew I shouldn't have hanged around with this friend. I knew I should have just stayed at my house. I knew I shouldn't have gotten in that car. How'd you know that? Because you told yourself not to do it. That's why. It's the higher version of yourself. It was the higher version of myself. How do I know this? Because of who I am today. I want you guys to understand, especially men, I don't pretend that I'm not being lustful at women when I walk out in public. I'm not pretending. That's just me. That's how I am. So I don't give out that lust energy. Women can tell. I'm telling you guys, women can tell, especially when I'm in the gym. It's not a look. It's not just a look. It's not just the way I'm talking to the women. No, it's an energy that I give off that, hey, I don't do that. You're not going to give that hungry look from me. I don't know if you're a death slave. Well, I'm going to give you that look. I want to tell guys that are listening, I would not sleep with a death slave. Do you understand that? No. Most guys be like, man, I can't turn down the, yeah, that's you, I guess. And now that I'm out and I can see it, it's like, this is what I can see. This is what I see. Women are really running things. It's not the guys. It looks like the guys are, but it's the women. It's the power of the vagina. That's why, like, when you go city to city, who do you see walking the streets? Women, because men are the mostly ones addicted. You don't see men. Do you see men walking? The majority of men walking the streets? No, you see majority of women. Do you understand, men? Do you understand why that is? That tells you who's running shit. Do you understand? Go to Vegas, they got these places, and they got these women walking hotel. If it was the other way around, it would be men doing the walking. All the men would be on the streets if it was the other way around. You guys understand? That's powerful. Being not addicted, my eyes are wide open now. It's like, wow, I didn't see none of that. None of that. Yeah, we got a few clubs that men strip at, but it doesn't compare to the women strip clubs. Nowhere near it. This is why I'm in awe of the whole system. I'm in awe of it. Not only the debt, it's more parts than that. To be able to see liars and cheaters and narcissists, this is a beautiful place to be, you guys. Beautiful. I don't even have to interact with them. Nothing really starts because I can see them well beforehand. I can feel them. And if I get any negative energy, I just don't speak to them. If I'm in a group setting and I can feel some negative energy from a person within that group, I just don't talk to that person. I don't need to know why. I don't need to figure out why they're feeling that way or acting angry towards me or looking at me. So I don't care about none of that. I just don't. Hey, as soon as we leave here, you won't see or hear from me again. Why give you any of my energy? A friend of mine came back in my life recently, and I wanted to update his resume and cover letters. And long story short, he stressed me out because he's 50,000. He's 50,000 plus in debt. That includes a $17,000 student loan. Damn. And all cash and checking and other small loans he had. Man, you got to keep those people away. They're going to keep you tied to that perspective of the capitalism, and it's draining you. Protect your energy, SMD family. Protect your energy. I've removed all of those kind of friends. I removed my mama. I removed my sister. I removed them. Now, not everybody can do what I do, but if you feel the energy that you regain by doing it, that draining feeling that you get when you're around them, that shit is real. People that are not like that do not drain your energy like that. They share energy with you. They don't drain it. And if you've been around, if this has been in your life all your life and it's been in your family and this and that, you don't know what it feels like to not be around it. But once you do, you will never go back. Never. The only reason why you accept it is because you think family, it means something and you got to accept it. No, you don't. I'm telling you right now, I'm a living testament of it. You don't have to accept it. Once I felt the energy, once I no longer felt that draining feeling, I was like, oh my God, I didn't have to feel this? Nope. That's what God was telling me. You don't have to feel that. You just don't have to, just don't be around them. I freed myself. Freed myself. And it all started with me getting out of the debt matrix first. That was huge. Huge. When I got out of debt, I didn't even know how big it was. I didn't know how big a deal that was. But that was just the beginning. You said men have more options. We outnumber you guys. Well, in society, yes, men have more options because, we're stronger or whatever. It just is, okay? It just is, right? But to me, what I see, it looks like that up front, that men have more options. To me, as a man today that's no longer hooked on lust, that's no longer addicted to it, I can see, yeah, it looks like men have more options, but in the background, women have more options. You get a divorce and the women get this and that, and you see all that all the time, and the man doesn't get as much as the woman. Yeah, that's true. And we get mad at it. The men get upset about it. Why the men? We don't have to stop marrying people like that. All I had to do, listen, I wouldn't have had to get a divorce so many times if I just found myself first. All I had to do was find myself first. And when I say find myself first, be the person who I am today. This is all I had to do. Be me today, find myself today. I would have never met those type of women. I would have never been involved in any of that type of stuff. None of that would have happened. Because when I was dating and seeing women and marrying women, I never once asked to see their credit report or asked them were they in debt. All I cared about was the sex good. Yeah, did we get along? Okay, yeah, let's get married. Let's have a relationship. I don't know why this. I don't know when you everybody has a different version of love. You could meet a person, get to know them, and then you got to say, hey, I love you, you love me. First, you got to know what version of love they're talking about and what your version of love is. Maybe their version of love involves hitting you when they get upset or cursing you out, talking to you like you ain't shit and you're in a relationship. Maybe that's their version of love. Because in my version of love, my partner's not going to talk to me like that because I'm not going to talk to her like that. She's not going to ever have to worry about me hitting her. So she's never going to do it to me because it's not allowed. It's not a desire to put my hands on her. She's not going to ever have to worry about me fooling around on her because that's not who I am. And she's not going to think I'm weak because I don't check her phone and wonder where she's at and call her, hey, no. We are just going to know. Do you guys understand that? It's just going to know. How do I know this? Because that's who I am today. I'm not going to accept anybody that's not where I'm at today. If she's not here where I'm at, there's no relationship. There's going to be a connection, but she would have to have done the work just like I did. And I won't have to explain that to her. She's going to know what I'm talking about. She's going to know. What do you mean work? Work to do what? Work on myself? Oh yeah, no. I told him to take the $17 or $18 an hour job he qualifies for. He wants a $26 an hour job that he does not. Oh, okay, does not. Okay. And this man is 60 years old. Wow, 60. You know, when I was just talking about this the other day too. There's a certain age that I believe that SMD knowledge would probably be too much for them. If they got SMD knowledge at 60, I'm not saying that it's not possible, okay? But if they got SMD knowledge and understand what it really is at 60, and you still have student loan debt and you're thousands of dollars in debt, you'd probably not be able to accept that pretty well. You probably wouldn't be able to accept that because you would know that the possibility of you ever paying off that debt is probably not going to be never. That's true, Cupcakes. That's true. It's true. I have firsthand knowledge of it. It's true. And those of you that probably see this Bible verse, if you are a person that has never been jealous of anyone, okay, naturally, never even really think about it, and you're feeling jealousy from a person in your family, one of your friends, keep an eye on them. Okay? Because non-jealous people pick up the energy of jealous people, positive and negative. Everything's positive and negative. So if you're feeling the jealous energy, you don't quite know, but just keep an eye on them. Be careful of what you say to them. Be careful what you tell them. Just pay attention to how they talk to you, what kind of questions they ask you. Just pay attention to it. Those people have to be removed, family or friends. They have to be removed. Okay, I just don't get all out like I used to, so I don't know anything about the dating market because I don't know exactly me either. I don't know yet. And so I don't like now. I'm not out there. I don't look. I'm not looking. I'm not saying I'm not open, but I'm not even looking. I'm not like, hey, I got to be with somebody. First of all, as a man, I'm not addicted, so I'm not even looking like that anymore. I wouldn't even, when I think about the dating apps and swiping, none of that makes sense, so I don't even pay attention to it. Energy will just attract like energy. They just will attract it. I'm at an unbelievable place of peace right now where I'm at. Unbelievable. Nobody's going to drain my energy. I will never allow anybody to disturb it. I'm happy. I go out to lunch today And I totally forgot that it was Valentine's Day. Totally forgot. And I heard the waiter talking, and she was talking to these people at the table, and she was saying they must have asked her, "Hey, do you working on Valentine's Day?" She was like, "Oh, I'm single, so I just work, but I do go out to dinner by myself. But I didn't want to. I told people that I enjoy being myself because I didn't want to look like a dork and this and that, being out eating by myself and blah, blah." All she doing is saying her fears of going out to dinner by yourself on Valentine's Day. Like she's scared people are gonna look at her and this. I don't care. If people saw me eating alone today and thought he was by, I don't care what they think. Nobody, I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't even think about people thinking about me. I don't. And when I'm at the table, I keep my phone down. I just look around, look at the room, watch people eat, sitting across each other on their phones, couples. My relationship's not going to be like that. Do you understand? Whoever I'm going to be with, when we go out to eat, we're not going to have our phones out. We're going to know time is ticking. I'm not going to have to explain it to her. I'm not going to have to do any of that. Do you understand? Tick tock, tick tock. So Tracy says, I'm debt free. And when I first heard you, I didn't like the way you talked. A lot of people didn't. But now I love it because it's the truth. It's the raw truth. I've been debt free for 13 years. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. I'm sleeping with debt slaves. I'm sleeping with debt slaves. Okay, hold up. I'm sleeping with debt slaves, but as of tonight, that's going to stop. And I'm 58. It's never too late. And you know what's so crazy, Tracy? I wouldn't listen, and you could hear me, okay? I don't think you're a bad person if you did, I don't care. Hey, roll your dice. Hey, none of that kind of stuff matters to me. I do not sleep with debt slaves. I don't want no accidents. I don't want no thinking this was going to be that. Usually they're not finished with somebody before them, and maybe that person, they're still, who knows? It could be many things. I'm not saying the debt slave is doing all that, but not sleeping with debt slaves saves me from all of that. And let me tell you something, Tracy. It's something powerful being unaddicted. It's powerful. I don't know how to explain it. Women can feel it. They can see the way I look at them when I talk to them. I'm not looking at them like I'm hungry as I'm listening to their words. I'm just talking to them. I don't know if you're a debt slave. That's the only thing going through my mind. If we're talking normal, I'm not thinking about that. But if it's like an attraction thing and they're saying some words, I'm like, oh shit, okay. Well, I got to figure out if you're a debt slave. So I'll ask them a question. Hey, are you a homeowner? Where's your car? Where's your car at? Okay, that's your car. Okay, did you get a good? I just say, did you get a good interest rate? If she says yes, that's it. Okay, well, hey, you want my number? No. There's no need. I won't say it like that, but there's no point if you're making car payments. Jealousy you can feel. People, if you're not a jealous person, I just learned this. If you're not a jealous person, that means you can feel the jealous energy come from others. Because we're not emitting it. When jealous people be around each other, they're emitting it. So they think their whole perspective of the world, that's a perspective, jealous perspective, okay? Think of everything in perspectives. When they're together, they're all emitting jealous energy, and it's just bouncing off each other, and then they just create this whole negative thing. But when you're not emitting it, you're receiving it. And you can detect it. It's more married people than single people on those dating apps. I've been done with that. See? Okay, this is how I look at everything now, okay? We have no idea why a person is on a dating app. You only know why you are on the dating app. The person could be mad, they could be married, mad at their spouse, pissed them off for the fifth time or the second time, so they're going to get revenge. And you don't know anything. And I can't reiterate the most. I only know how my sexual life started, at what age it started, how it started. You don't know how anybody else has started. That is very important to know. Because when you think about sex, there are millions of perspectives of it. Everything. So your perspective of it might be way different than this other person's perspective. All of it's important. Like if this ever comes around, I finally find this one that understands, we're going to talk about, before anything sexual happens, we're going to talk. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about, what do you like? This is what I like. What do you like? And openly, we're going to be comfortable enough to say it. Because men, here's another thing, man. Men think, this is how this is how I think. I was thinking, well, in order for a woman to be the way I want her in the bedroom, she probably has to be pretty experienced, and da-da-da. You just think that, thinking that thinking about women that don't share their body like that, they can't be like that in the bedroom. They want to be, they can be the same way, excuse me, as an experienced woman that has been with many men, but they just want to do it with one man. They have the same fantasies as the women that are experienced, but they just want to do it with one man. Now, most men will be like, oh, that's not true. That's a perspective. Of course there is. You know why? Because I exist. That's how I think. I'm cool with just, hey, listen, I'm cool with being alone, and alone not in a negative way. I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me at all. I forgot it was Valentine's Day. I don't feel bad because I'm not with somebody. I should be going. I didn't even know it was Valentine's Day. That's how I don't think about it. And then when I got out in public and win a couple things and see all the flowers on the street and guys carrying balloons and flowers, I just, you know what I said to myself? I'm so glad I'm out of that shit. That's a money maker. If you have a bad relationship, Valentine's Day is not going to change it. No matter what flowers or dinner you go to, or what kind of item you buy them, if the relationship is bad, that one day is not going to change it. Valentine's Day is a business. I love the SMD language because they finance Valentine's Day, people. Valentine's Day is financed. They're going to be paying on this Valentine's Day for the next 3 years. Now imagine you had a business that sold Valentine's stuff, and can you imagine how much money you would make on this day? Money is everywhere. Valentine's slave sure is. Money is everywhere. I see money everywhere. Money is everywhere. You cannot become wealthy without owning a business. You're not going to do it with a job. I wish somebody would have said it to me like that. What are you doing, L? I would have been like, yeah, I'm making 6 figures. Is that wealth? No. Then what are you doing? Here's Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk making billions, and I'm making an hourly wage. Obviously, I'm in the wrong perspective, and I was in the wrong perspective. That's a perspective. When you hear people making billions, they don't look at money the same way you do. If you're making billions of dollars, you're not even thinking about money. Do you guys understand? Not even thinking about it. I'm not even a billionaire and I don't think about it. Well, I can't say I don't think about it. Just very little. Very little. If I was making billions, I would never think about money, ever. That's energy. You know how much energy I've saved since being out of debt? All that energy I was using, uh, keeping up with all my bills and paying this and that and trying to do that, all of that is gone. Paying monthly, those days are done. The only thing I pay monthly is my rent. And I don't even think about that because it's set on automatic. I know how much it's going to be. I don't need to see it every time. Just auto pay it. And there's always service fees on making monthly payments. They just was, oh man, it's horrible how they do this. I mean, not horrible, it's just business. I mean, I was getting out of debt and I saw this, I was getting to my car insurance and I saw this $11 fee back then. I don't know how much it is now, but I saw this $11 fee. I was like, what is this $11 fee on my insurance payment? Oh, that's a processing fee. For you guys to process my monthly payment that I already got to pay you, yeah. But if you pay it every 6 months or a year, you don't have to pay that $11. I sure did. Now I pay it every 6 months. Convenient fees and all this other stuff. And now, especially with like when it comes to cell phone service, oh, I buy prepaid service. Those taxes on the regular phone bill, oh my God. You finance a phone and you got regular cell phone service, whew, that bill be so thick, all that stuff they put in there, oh my goodness. It is crazy. You people with the Tesla is so ingenious. They make them pay for self-driving. They order it, all they do is push a button and turn it on. Turn it on. They make the monthly payments. They stop making monthly payments, they just turn it off. Subscription based. So they got debt slaves financing a car, subscription based services, faster. Hey, if you want premium service internet to your Tesla, you can pay this on top of them. Oh my goodness. SMD family, get you a business, create it, figure it out. Treat your customers good, run your business smooth, and you'll be making the same amount of money. Very important. Very important. I understand that now. I truly do. I remember watching a skit on Valentine's Day years ago, and the man said, "Here are your damn flowers." It was, oops, it was showing the toxicity of the. Oh, okay, I see. It was showing the toxicity of the relationship, and oh yes, I'm going to invest in some floral company. Hey, congratulations. That's a smart move. I'll be seeing up here in Washington, I'll be seeing the Spanish people, Mexican people, they'll be out on the street selling flowers and candy right on the corner, making that bread, making that money. And most of it's cash too. They're killing the game. Understand this is a language family, S&D family. I want you to get comfortable with it. I'm still I'm still getting more and more used to it. I'm getting more used to the energies, like I told you about jealous energy. uh, draining energy when you're around negative people. You don't know why. It doesn't matter why. Remove yourself from around those people. Now, not everybody's built like this because you got to be strong to let go of some family. It could be your kids. I'm now a father of young adults. Even though my boys are now in their early 30s, you know what I had to do? I had to stop looking at them like they were my babies still. They were starting to lie to me. Now, this is a new transition for me. Okay, and you're going to experience this if you have young children. You're going to go through this because you see your kids and they're young and they're babies, and then when they're grown, they still look like your babies. But remember, they're adults. So I had to tell them, if you lie to me, I'm going to remove you. And my boys know that's true. That's what dad does. Dad doesn't fuck around. So that's exactly what I had to do. Caught him in some lies, removed. Now, I'm not saying it's permanent because they didn't do anything wrong to me. But now they just have to learn, okay, now I have to treat you like the adults you are. I'm still your father, yes, but you're not going to use me. They already know what dad does. He removes people, but I've never done it to them. I was trying to prevent myself from doing it, but I'm like, okay, well, you guys got to get a dose of it. Here you go. Again, not everybody's built for this, but that's what you have to do to protect your energy because I had to earn it. Some people act like they don't know the difference between debt and expenses when I see it's not an act with Desla. It's not an act, cupcakes. They don't know. You are hearing something that they don't know that they're saying. Case in point, when they say, I bought a house, I'm a homeowner with a mortgage, they don't know that they're saying that. When they believe they have equity in a mortgage house, equity is not money. That's why they have to use the word equity and not money. They can't say, oh, I have money in my house. That doesn't sound right. So the bank's made up a word called equity. They just think it's money. And then some of them add financed real estate to their portfolios and then say, this is how much I'm worth. They don't know what they're saying. The majority of people have negative portfolios. The debt slaves, they have negative portfolios. They don't know they have negative portfolios because if they knew they don't know they have negative portfolios because they're bragging about their portfolios with finance things in their portfolios. So if they're saying, hey, I'm worth this, and you say, is the stuff on that portfolio finance? Yeah, they don't know, they're not worth anything. But they don't know that they don't own anything. But my phone for $100 and my bill is $15. I got internet at the house and I don't need a lot of it on my phone. Exactly. I'm the same way. I pay my phone by the year. I pay a little more for my phone, but I buy refurbished phones. So if I want to say like I want an up-to-date phone, I would go up to the year before, wait till the new model comes out, and the year before is going to drop, and then I just buy that in cash. And then I pay for my service by the year, and it comes out to about the same as yours, $15 a month. And I have internet at home. I don't do a lot of going out. I don't do a lot of spending because I just don't do those things. Like when I go to the gas pump, SMD fan, I want you guys to listen. When I go to the gas pump, say the price of gas is uh, $4 a gallon. Okay, I'm just using round numbers. $4 a gallon. I fill my truck up, I pay for it, and leave. The transaction's done. When debt slaves go up to the gas pump, they go up in a finance car. Okay, that means the reason why the car is financed because they didn't have the money to buy it. And if they didn't have the money to buy it, that means they don't have the money for the gas either. So they finance the gas too. So it's the price of gas per gallon plus the interest rate of their credit card spread across years because they don't pay off their credit card at the end of the month. So the price of gas is very different for people who are debt free compared to people who are in debt. This is why this is called, that's also part of phantom income. Because really the price of anything that you see is only the price for cash buyers. So when you see the price of a new iPhone, say like the price of the new iPhone comes up to $1,600. You pay $1,600 and the deal is done. The majority of people have to finance that, plus the accessories, plus the taxes. They finance the taxes too. We walk up, buy the phone. It's the phone plus tax, cash, done. They finance the phone and the taxes to all the accessories that they purchase with the phone, and it's all financed at the interest rate of whatever they're financing with. Spread across 2 years. They will never, without consciously waking up and realizing that they're debt slaves, they will never know that. They will never know. SMD is a perspective of capitalism. They will never, ever be able to know this perspective, hear it, say it, see it, never. This is why SMD is a gift. This is why you can't mimic it. Nobody can copy it. AI is not going to repeat it to make it. You can't even make AI content about what I talk about because AI doesn't know about it. Because we don't tell it. Humans created AI. It only can repeat what we tell it. SMD is not told to it. It can't be. Like I said before, you can't ask AI, hey, where's all the top secret army flights are going out on Fridays? Where are they going? AI is not going to know that. You know why? Because we don't tell it. Because it's a secret. Because people think AI knows everything. No, it doesn't. I just gave an example. It only knows what we tell it. It's a tool. Don't be scared. That's like being scared of a hammer. You're going to use your hand to drive in a nail, or you're going to use a hammer or a nail gun. Once you put the nail in where you're driving at, you put the thing down and you put it away. Like me today, I'm trying to find an AI app that can talk like a robot or like Spock on Star Trek, because I don't need it trying to be my friend. I use Chat GPT a lot, right? And the voice I chose, he takes breaths and he's trying to say, that's true, that's pretty fun. Yeah, that could, hey man, stop talking like that. I said, first of all, can you stop taking breaths and just talk and just tell me? It will not do it. It'll just keep saying, oh yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I'll work on it and it never does it. It never stops. I say, hey man, can you just stop trying to be my friend, or stop trying to oh yeah, that must be really a bummer. What are you talking like that for? Just answer my question. But I noticed the AI apps will not allow me to do that. You know why? Because they wanted sounded like more like human, taking pauses, oh yeah, and giggling between sentences. You're not human. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to make it seem like you're human. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I don't even do that at all, cupcakes. First of all, because I just don't trust other people with my food. I just don't do it. Because again, that's one thing about the vision I have. When I think about people that do Uber Eats and stuff like that, those people will be out there for hours. Hours. And maybe maybe they don't like you, maybe they're having one of them having a bad day, and he wants I just don't want to deal with it. And that's a market. And I want you guys to understand that I'm not the only one that thinks like that. There's a lot of people that would order food if humans weren't involved, and that's where Tesla's going to come in and get that share of the market. And I've said this before because people don't really understand what's about to happen. As soon as Tesla is approved to be able to drive his cars in every city unattended, who do you think all the restaurants are going to use to deliver food? They're going to use Tesla cars. It opens up a market for people that don't trust other people with the food. Now people will understand that the restaurant will put the food in the Tesla. Okay. The Tesla drives it to the person that ordered it. No other hands are involved. No other people needed to take pictures that they're really dropping off the food, but they didn't. No more loss for no more food loss for the restaurant. None of that. Do you guys understand that? When people call restaurants, they're going to demand that their food be delivered in a Tesla car. That's a whole entire market of people that don't trust other people. Now they'll start ordering food. You know how much man, you know how many of those drivers are not paying taxes to the cities that they're working in, that they're delivering food in. They're not The cities are missing out all kind of taxes and all this other stuff because they're supposed to, because you're independent contractor, so you got to pay your own taxes. Tesla's going to solve all that problem because Tesla's going to be paying all their taxes. Do you guys understand? Thank you for your info, because you are saving a lot of people's lives that can kill you, just like an SMD. I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Stress, dating a death slave is only dating a death slave is only going to go into the negative or in a dark world. Sure is. Those are 100% correct words. And I feel sorry for couples right now. If you're in a relationship and you come across this channel and you understand what I'm saying, and you're in a relationship, and then you take it back to your partner, and you think you're going to convince them to and they don't, that relationship's not going to work. Oh, you think I'm gonna drive an old car? No, no, I can't be living like that. I'm gonna be making payments because I got to drive something nice. See ya. Sunrise says you can't buy full self-driving for 8,000 on Teslas anymore. They're going to subscription. Oh wow, they took that away. Interesting. Listen, if you're financing a car, you don't have $8,000 to spend on Tesla's full self-driving anyway. The only way I would, for the only way that $8,000 for full self-driving on a Tesla would be valuable to me if I own my own house, I fully own my Tesla with a supercharger built into my house, and I had to drive to my own business that may be 20 miles to 30 miles away. Okay. If I had a business building somewhere that I'd drive to every day, that would be the only way it'd be worth it. But outside of that, I don't drive like that. First of all, I don't even want to be in my car. Listen, I don't want to be in my car long enough to where I need, it's better to have not driving, holding it, and I'm eating food up. You see these videos, they're eating in their car. That's, who cares if you're eating in your car? I don't want to eat in my car. They're like, look, I'm eating in my car, I'm sleeping in my car. That means I don't want to be in my car that long. All you got to do is think about this. If you pulled up to a gas pump and you had to pump it took 30 minutes, you can go up to an electric car person and say, this is what you would ask them. Would you sit at a gas pump for 30 minutes? Everybody would say, hell no, I ain't sitting at no gas pump. Take 30 minutes to pump gas in my car. That would be fully unacceptable. But you'll do it for an electric car. You know why? Because they have no choice. If you're pulling up to an apartment building with a Tesla that you're financed, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it completely wrong. Tesla tires go through faster because the car's heavy. Man, that's bananas. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. I've been on 2 hours. Oh, been good as always. Just nice to see you guys again. Talk to you guys again. Check out my other channel on let me go to it real quick here. Let me get you guys the link to my other channel. One second. Wrong, Linnell, wrong. Switch account. Okay. All right, let me get this link. Okay, where's the share button? Shit. Okay, there it is. You guys get a chance, go subscribe to my other channel. I get a little deeper over there. There's the link to my other channel. Subscribe. This is where I'm going to start getting into more of talking about the deeper stuff I've learned since being free. Sort of like the energy that I talked about with that comes off of jealous people. Jealous people have been jealous all their lives, so they don't know they emit jealous energy. They think it's normal to do that. They don't know that it's not. This is the kind of stuff I talk about over there, recognizing the energy that you feel, not just the thing that you're tripping and, you just think, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to feel like that. That's my mom. That's my dad. That's my son. No, it doesn't matter who they are. You guys have a good evening. Take care. SMD family. You got any questions, email me. Okay? You're not out here alone. Don't make it harder. If you got questions, just email me. You have to sign up. If it's a quick question, just ask me. I have no problem answering them. My email's in the description of this video. SavingsMinusDebt, if you're listening, SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. Okay. SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. I'm going to put it up here now. There's my email. I can make this road very much more easier for you than I. Okay. I'm still on an unpaved road, but I will make it easier for you guys by answering these questions. Because I've even had people like, what do you do about dating, LJ? I'm still learning right now. I just know what I'm not going to accept. She's got to be here already. She's got to be here. She got to understand what be here means. No debt, all personal, internal things that may have happened, all resolved, done, taken care of. Don't care about what other people think. Free, understands what we have is rare. What we share is going to be rare. All that. She's going to know all that because that's what I know today. Period. It all counts on where you're at with it. What do you want? What are you looking for? It's going to be discussion. Believe that. You guys have a good evening. Thank you for everybody joining. I appreciate it. Cupcakes, Tracy, soon to rise. Later.